We talk a lot about the design of tech devices, smartphones, tablets, but technological innovation these days is happening from the ground up. Yes, including basketball shoes. Kobe's new sneakers, for example, incorporate something Nike's marketing wizards like to call Flyknit technology. I recently caught up with Nike's Creative Director Eric Avar, and I started by asking him about the design similarities between shoes and tech gadgets.
I think design in general, there's a natural design process that you go through, and certain design principles that really kind of transcend any, really any discipline or any type of product that you might be working on. But I think, within footwear, we're at a really interesting time now because the technology is changing and evolving, advancing in so many ways of, both from a science perspective of how we can gather more information, more data, more science from the athlete. So that's kind of the upfront side. And then on, the back side, in terms of the way we can actually manufacture products. So something like Flyknit opens up a whole new world of possibilities, as we mentioned, just designing down to the pixel level. So it's really an interesting time within design. I think that's true for all of design, but certainly true for kind of, in the footwear or athletic design realm.
People are starting to get the idea of what 3D printing is all about.
Yes.
This incredible trend.
Yeah.
Since you're working with athletes who probably have a vision, but it could be a whole host of different shoes ultimately.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that. How quickly can you take a concept and come up with a prototype today versus, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah, dramatically faster. It's through additive manufacturing processes and additive prototyping processes. We can turn samples and prototypes, in some cases, 1 to 3 days, where it would take us, upwards of easily 1 to 3 weeks prior. So, just the iterative process of being able to prototype, wear test, because when you design, one of the unique things about designing footwear or apparel, when it goes on the body, and the body is a very complex, it's constantly in motion, so it's actually a kind of a complex thing to design for. So the more that we can prototype and learn from prototypes, the better. And as you mentioned, technology is just allowing us to iterate and prototype that much faster.
Jony Ive at Apple likes to talk about simplicity.
Sure.
Do you live by that as well?
I'm a big believer in simplicity. I'm inspired a lot by nature, and I believe there's a simplicity and a purpose to nature and the natural systems. As complex as it is, it's also very simple. So that's something we talk about at Nike, quite often also, is, taking the complex and making it simple. It's the complex simplicity, if you will.
And what about the fact that you've got a lot of big-name athletes who you're working with? They all want to come forward with their own ideas. How do you sort of take each of those unique flavors and then come up with all these different shoes?
Well, it's working with those different athletes. I mean, we always listen. It's our mantra. We listen to the voice of the athlete. Phil Knight speaks to that all the time, and we take that to heart. And so whether it's Kobe or any other athlete we might be working with, you fundamentally listen to the athlete, the voice of the athlete, and that helps us take us to new places, both from a performance standpoint and also from a style, aesthetic standpoint.
Are there some Kobe-isms you can share with us? I know you guys sort of are always thinking about them. Oh man, he has so many. A lot that I probably couldn't say on camera. Great thing, one of the many great things about Kobe is just he constantly wants to be pushing design and innovation, both from a functional and also from an aesthetic standpoint. So I mean, that's just one common thread. Every time we sit down to meet, it's like, okay, what can we do next? I'm thinking this, I'm feeling this with my current product. How can we make this better? How can we change the game? So I mean, that's just, it's a constant with Kobe. That was Eric Avar of Nike. Corey, basically, Kobe wanted to go back to the high top.
He'd been having some success with the low top, wanted to have that same flexibility that you can have with the low top, and so they started thinking, okay, all right, let's try to keep Kobe happy. That's the backstory on that.